Chapter 5. Finding the Key. After a few days of constant rain, it was finally nice enough to play outdoors again. Mary finished breakfast and rushed out of the house, and was met by a bright blue sky. The first thing she did was to run 10 times around the flower garden behind the manor. Then she ran to the kitchen gardens. She'd been cooped up for so long she had lots of energy. Running along, she finally came to a stop when she found Ben Weatherstaff. "Springtime comin'," he said. "Can't you smell it?" Mary sniffed deeply. Yes, she could smell the spring coming. She smiled. The thought of spring excited her. It was funny, she thought. She couldn't remember being excited about anything in her whole life. Mary stood with her eyes closed and her face toward the sun. Suddenly she heard the soft rustling of tree branches and the sound of a bird chirping. She knew it was her Robin. Mary opened her eyes and saw him hopping on a nearby branch. She clapped her hands together joyfully. The robin flew so close to Mary it made her tremble with excitement. "He remembers me!" Mary cried happily. She thought to herself, right at that very second, that perhaps England was not so bad. It was here in England, at Misselthwaite Manor, that she had found people to like. Never before had Mary liked anybody, but now she liked Martha and Martha's brother Dickon, though she had never met him. And she most definitely liked this robin. With a chirp, the robin set out, flying toward the orchard. Mary ran after him. She watched the robin landed on a branch and sang, bobbing his head from side to side. Mary thought he looked very beautiful, with his satiny waistcoat and his chest puffed so proudly as he chirped. Then, all at once, the robin took off again, this time landing on another branch along the wall. "He wants me to follow him," Mary realized with excitement. She skipped after the robin, chirping back to him, pretending to speak to him in his language. "I'm talking to creatures just like Dickon does," Mary thought with a smile. Mary followed the robin from tree to tree until he landed on the ground beside a tiny pile of freshly dug earth. Next to the pile was a hole in the ground. Mary looked in. Something was half buried in the soil. It was a piece of metal. She reached out to pick it up and gasped in shock. It was a key, an old key that looked as though it had been buried a long time. Mary could scarcely breathe. She lifted the key from the dirt and studied it closely. "Could it be?" she asked the robin. "Could this key I'm holding be the key to the secret garden?"